Hi everyone, welcome to A Conversation With. Today we're going to be speaking to Mike Tallis, who's the Regional Recruitment Consultant for Lidl. So Mike, what do you do in your day-to-day role?
Yeah, hi Victoria. So my role is I am the gentleman who's in charge of recruitment for Lidl within a geographical region. So if you weren't aware, we have 13 regions throughout the UK. I am based what we call out the Bridgend region. So the sort of the region that we cover is anything from the Severn Bridge right through to then West Wales, up to Aberystwyth and then Newtown, and we do have a few stores just over the border and into England as well. So although I overlook and monitor all of the recruitment, I'm directly responsible for the management recruitment, and that also includes the graduate recruitment that we take place every year.
Fab, thank you. So the first question I've got to kick it off for you is, all graduates require a 2-1?
No, not at all. We as a business made a decision a few years ago that we were open to people with a graduate of a 2-2. So we appreciate that, anyone who has gone to university and has really built up those skills, even at the 2-2 level, could be invaluable to our business model. And we've actually changed it as well, that we're very open to any degree discipline. So we as a business recognize that sometimes your degree gives you a lot of skills that might not necessarily be relevant to the line of work that you were looking to do or you have done. So just to give you a bit of an idea, we've had graduates who have been really successful with us that have got ancient history, who have got sort of biomedical science. Like I myself, I work now in a HR department. My degree discipline is geography. So it can be really, really wide ranging. It's more about your skills and attitude more than so much about the actual degree itself.
Perfect, yeah, exactly. It's always why it's important to see, as well as your academic degree, what skills you can be building up around academic life, any extra jobs you've got, any sort of clubs you join, all really good skills to have.
Yeah,
Next
100%. We
question.
employ the person, not the degree.
Yeah, exactly. Next question we've got for you is, Lidl only pays so well because you have to work every single weekend and every single holiday.
No, it's look, we give a very generous holiday allowance, which is 30 days, I want to say, to
Hmm.
begin with. And then after 2 years, if you're still with the organization after the degree, which we hope you are, after the program initially, or any direct entry, it then goes up to 35. Um, Look, we're a retail organization, so yes, we are open on weekends. We're open on late nights, bank holidays, those types of things. So a degree of flexibility does need to be, but we're very committed to work-life balance. We monitor the amount of hours that people work in. We even monitor the amount of holidays they've taken, and if they've not taken enough, we have those discussions with them. So if you're after the traditional 9 till 5, we're probably not the right company for you. But if you want a company that's very committed to change, and every day is different, then yeah, certainly we've got a lot of opportunities to offer.
That flexibility I always think is really nice as well, because suddenly when you've got like all your boring admin jobs to do, you've got to go and return something in town, you don't have to be pushing on the train on a Saturday. You can have a nice little quiet Thursday and just nip in when everyone else is at work, and like meet up with friends a lot during the weekend days can sometimes be nice as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of my colleagues who do work in stores and they work in logistics, because they tend to work on a rota basis, or they tend to have maybe set days off, or they've sort of formatted that. They get a lot more done.
Mm.
It's a less busier in certain places. So it's a lot easier to get those dentist or doctor's appointments because you're not just having to take time off work and do it that way. But we also offer the flexibility. Look, we appreciate life happens, and our teams are really flexible in that approach. So if, for example, if you've got a family holiday or you've got something booked on a weekend, they will look at the rota. They can change it to make sure that you get the day off instead of taking an annual leave day. And I think that offers the flexibility. If you're doing a Monday to Friday, sort of 9 till 5 type job or administration, it's a little bit harder because you have to take the day off.
Mm.
Whereas if you've got to have a Tuesday off, but you're happy to work a Saturday instead, it doesn't mean you have to take a holiday. You can just change your day off that week, which is really beneficial.
Yeah, I'm just thinking as well, when we're able to fly and go on holidays again, if you can get a Tuesday flight, it's going to be so much cheaper than going
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, definitely. I think it really offers that flexibility, and a lot of our store teams, when they can go out, and they've had like team nights out, they tend to go out on a Sunday evening, and it means that they can have a Monday off, for example.
Yeah.
So it really does benefit that work life. So I think it used to be very much everyone's. I think the dream for people are to work Monday to Friday, but we're not a Monday to Friday culture anymore. A
Yeah.
lot of businesses are opening 7 days a week. They operate, and it just means that we're really flexible around that as well.
So, next question we have for you is, will I have to move if I get awarded a place on the graduate scheme?
No, no. I think we've got 13 regions throughout the UK, and they all advertise for at least one, if not two, parts of the different graduate schemes that we offer. Not every region has particular graduate schemes, so it really does depend what you're looking for. We as an organisation wouldn't expect you to relocate. If you want to relocate, we'll fully support that. So some graduate schemes, for example, you have to work in our head office, which is in London. So it has to be done. But here in Bridgend, for example, we've been recently recruiting for our graduate sales program. So we're very fortunate that we've got stores right across the region, so we can really fit in where you're based to where the store based and where your training will be. I suppose if you're flexible in terms of location, it just means that come towards the end of the program or securing a more full-time permanent position, it just gives you more flexibility. It just gives you the ability to say, I want a job. Okay, I live in Cardiff, for example, but the job's in Newport. I can commute to Newport, that's not a problem. But if a job's in Swansea, for example, you may say, well, actually, I'm happy to relocate to Swansea. Or if you want a job in like supply chain, for example, and the only job is in Runcorn, then yes, you can certainly apply for it, but that would be your choice. We wouldn't expect you to do that.
That's good though. Still got the opportunity to go and explore a new city if you wanted to after you graduate. If you want to also if you want to carry on exploring Cardiff for a bit more, plenty of opportunities for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as a growing organisation, we're very committed in terms of internal progression. So I've had colleagues who have actually worked for us in the UK and are actually going and worked abroad. So they've actually gone to Lidl America, for example, or even into Europe. So not sure what's going to happen in terms of Brexit and how that's going to, but we're very still committed to increasing our internal talent. And if people want to build a career, there's plenty of opportunities. And I think as students, it's very challenging
Mm,
because sometimes it's about thinking, right, okay, I've left university and there's a bit of a pressure to get that job. Look, I know from experience, personal experience, that the next job you get outside of university might not be a dream job,
yeah.
but you love the company that you're going to be working for. And if the company can offer you a career, it's definitely, plenty of opportunity. And it's about, you can change lots of jobs, even within the same company. You don't have to start off and end off in the same job. You can progress into different. And I've got colleagues who started off in stores, so they started off as customer assistants. They now work in IT. They now work in supply chain, property, you name it. They've managed to move around into the business.
That flexibility and having a company that really support you along your career journey as well is really important. Just to know that after the 2 years, when your contract's finished, you're not going to be kicked out on your heel. Like there could be opportunities to stay within the company.
Yeah, I think we're very committed. We invest a lot in terms of even direct entries, for example. So if there was anyone who was looking for a direct position, we invest a lot of time and money to actually develop our staff. We want to retain them, and I think it's that the don't be too disheartened that sometimes the job you apply for might not be the job you get, but you might be offered a different position. It's because the company still sees a lot in you. They can see that you can build. They can add a lot of value, but they think you can add a lot of value to their company as well. And for us, we've got people who've come on who started off as shift managers, for example, and now they're store managers. So yeah, they may not have got the dream job right to begin with, but they've come in, they've worked hard, we've supported them, we've invested heavily in them, and they've got to the level that they want to be at the beginning. So, you know, there's really that sort of passion. And again, that's right across, because we have an internal only jobs board. So there's plenty of opportunities right across the UK. There's projects that are always coming up that people can actually get seconded to. So there's lots and lots that goes on in the background that people don't realise with an organisation of our size that we need to keep our company going.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just the storefront. There's a lot of cogs in the wheel that work behind it to keep those moving. So next question for you is, you've got a couple of grad schemes that are open, some of them being buying, selling and logistics. What are the difference between these, and what might the students find themselves doing in these roles?
So if I take the buy-in one, first of all, go in order. So the buy-in is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a buy-in scheme. So you'll actually be responsible for buying and securing products for our stores. So everyone thinks, oh yeah, great, I'll be flying off to Italy and France and sampling all the wine and buying wine. Unfortunately not.
Nice limoncello.
Yeah, you might be responsible for sourcing toilet paper, for example, or feminine products, or you know whatever. So, because for example, I'm not sure if you're aware, over 75% of the products we sell in store are actually made and sourced from the UK. So it's actually dealing with local suppliers. So it's actually securing products. So we, again, as a lot of our own private labels, will work with organisations to manufacture and get those in. So it's working with those to actually increase and develop those products. So although you do get the experience and exposure in stores and logistics, you'll still have to do that as part of the scheme. And again, it's very much London based. So the buy-in scheme is only available in London. Our sales are a little bit more flexible. It's right across the UK. But what we're looking for is our future management teams within stores. So it's a 2-year program where people will go through customer assistant training. They'll go through shift manager, deputy store manager. And then within the second year, they're actually given a store. So they get to run a store as their own business. And at the end of that 2-year program, if they want to apply for a permanent vacancy, there's probably going to be opportunities available. We never guarantee.
No.
We never guarantee, but there's always going to be opportunities in sales. And again, it's about that thinking, right, okay, I want to become maybe an area manager or something. It might not happen in 2 years, but if you work hard, it will happen. There will be opportunity, and that's right across. Our logistics, again, is working within our logistics partners, so within our distribution centres, and it's understanding basically how we get our goods coming into the distribution centre and how we get them out to stores.
Fab, thank you. The last one we've got for you is, I haven't got any retail experience. Can I still apply?
Of course, we appreciate that people have very much different experiences, different exposure to different things. Doesn't necessarily mean that people with retail experience would be the best candidates for us. And let's be completely honest. Our business model is very unique. It's very different to a lot of other organisations. It's hard graft. You know, when you've done a shift in store or when you've done a shift in warehouse, your feet and your hands will tell you you've worked hard, because even our store managers are required to put out pallets of stock. They're required to clean. They do everything else that everyone else does in store. So, and what we tend to find is sometimes people who've got different retail experience, coming from other retailers, for example, are slightly at disadvantage because they expect it to be like where they've worked before. So if you've got transferable skills from maybe hospitality, volunteering, anything like that you can bring, it's really valuable, because we are a customer service based organisation. Our business model and our vision is that we put the customer at the centre of everything we do. So if you've got experience with dealing with the general public, we tend to find that, you know, that's something that we can't teach. We can teach you how to work in Lidl. We can teach you the Lidl way. You know, we can teach what all our processes, procedures, but it's the basics of, you know, how you interact with the general public and your customer service skills, or you deal with colleagues. And I think sometimes people think, oh, customer service is about dealing with the general public. It's not. It's also about dealing with internal members of staff. So you have internal and external customers. And if you've got those customer service skills and you really have that passion for it, that's what we're looking for. It's about being resilient. It's about the tenacity. Look, and I think what students sometimes need to understand is that you're moving from an educational format where
Mm.
people will help you. They'll give you, they'll give you the nudge, and they'll expect, they'll really hold your hand through what you need to do. When you're in the world of work, it's your responsibility. You're taking charge of your own career. You're the ones that are going to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at work at 5. You're going to have to work the late nights. It's about your responsibility. And sometimes you will get told that's not right, or you need to improve. And it's understanding what you need to do and having that tenacity and rolling up your sleeves and picking yourself up and thinking, actually, yeah, I'm going to succeed in that. And there's always going to be opportunity with our organisation to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that seeing what other skills you have, especially, can be important. When we were talking a little bit before this, we were speaking about perhaps even people that have got part of German as their degree and some of the opportunities that that could afford you working for a company like
Yeah,
this.
I think us as an organisation, I think people tend to think, oh, I've got business management.
Hmm.
We've got a management scheme, and I can understand why people think that. And of course, we always welcome degrees, but because we're non-degree specific, it means that we're open to anything. But also, we do have a lot of direct entry roles that we as a business sometimes struggle to fill.
Hmm.
And some of these are location bound. They may be certain locations that you have to move to get the job, because that's where they're based. But for example, a lot of our supply chain or even buy-in, they require German speakers, because our business language as a German company is German. So we do have a lot of conversations with our colleagues in Europe. And again, you're dealing with a lot of suppliers. So people coming in and they want to do certain things, or they speak certain things. You have to be able to do it. So if you're fluent in a certain language, it's fantastic. It's really, really beneficial. But I think, we as a business, and sometimes people do get to where they may miss the boat in terms of our graduate schemes, for example. We
Hmm.
have a lot of direct entry positions become available. So it means that people can still build an absolute fantastic career with us, but not go on a graduate scheme.
Hmm.
Come in as if they've got some even basic management experience. They may have worked for a fast food restaurant or a hospitality chain and have some exposure to being a supervisor or a basic manager. That's fantastic. That's what we look for, because with your hard work, with that sort of background, we can really develop those individuals to be our future leaders.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. I think especially now during COVID, there's a bit of uncertainty. Maybe you've got to be really flexible and sort of maybe, all right, yeah, you've always wanted to work in this sector, but actually broadening your horizons a little bit and opening your eyes to the wider opportunities, you could find a career that you absolutely fall in love with.
Yeah, and I think we were discussing, and we used like events management, for example, as a good thing. I think our stores are a key. We're very procedural driven. There's a lot of processes that we work to. So if you've got exceptional skills in terms of time management, and obviously working towards deadlines and forecasting, and in terms of events management, it's very much right. Okay, that's when the end date is going to happen. And I appreciate it might be right. We need to plan what's going to happen at certain times and certain dates, and involving certain people. Those sort of skills are really transferable to our business model, because certain things do have to be completed by a certain time.
Hmm.
Certain things do, they have to order stock by a certain time because other departments are waiting on it. So it's not just simply right. Okay, this is the job. Get on with it. There's a lot of things that they can bring over to you.
That's great. Thank you so much for chatting to me today, Mike. Was there
It's fine.
anything else you wanted to cover today?
No, I'm really looking forward to dealing with it. I'm actually attending the All Wales Virtual Fair on the
Yes.
1st of March. So if any students or anyone would like, any graduates who would like to maybe have a chat about what we have to offer, the sort of the scheme, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm also going to have a couple of colleagues who are actually on the graduate scheme at the moment attending. So it'd be a really good opportunity if you want to reach out and speak to people maybe around the sort of same age peer group, because they're not long left. You're more than welcome to come along and chat with them as well.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Mike.
No problem. Thank you.